beauty has become so serious and it's become like this sort of an acrimonious space where people are cancelling each other for not wearing sunscreen. The biggest misconception is that beauty has become very binary. I'm very vain. I like to look good.
So what, according to you, today is the biggest trend in beauty?
One thing the green beauty industry does get wrong is like a lot of fear mongering, and there's no bigger toxin than fear.
How closely is confidence related to skin?
Oh my God, everything. What's wrong with a wrinkle or two?
Yeah.
Like really, what's wrong? It just adds character to your face. I feel it makes you look hotter, whether it's a man or a woman. I've had so many friends who've had breast cancer and the first thing the doctors tell them to do is to stop using commercial products.
Right.
And they ask them to use cleaner formulas. And there has to be a reason behind why they are saying this.
Vasudha, welcome to Beauty Banter.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely an honor to have you with us.
Oh, it's my honor.
No, honestly,
So how I feel.
because you're the last word, like the authority in beauty, and for us to have you on is just an honor.
Oh, that's...
And my team was absolutely jumping with joy when I told them because they have so much respect for you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the honor.
So you've been, in this field for 20 years.
Yes.
And like unrelenting. What is it that you find so exciting about this space?
I'm very vain. I like to look good. So anything that helps me look great is something that I like about this space. But you know what I used to say earlier, Queenie, and this is before the advent of social media. I used to always say that like I'm so lucky that I'm working in the beauty space because everyone in beauty business is so nice. Of course, I say this before the advent of social media because it's just that beauty has become such a it's become so serious and it's become like this sort of an acrimonious space where people are cancelling each other for not wearing sunscreen. But before all this happened, people from this industry are so lovely and so kind and so easy to work with. Of course, I love beauty. Of course, I love using beauty products, but also I love the people in the business.
Today, beauty's become so big. Beauty now has trends.
Yeah.
So what, according to you, today is the biggest trend in beauty?
I think, and I'm going to do an article on this. I think now we are seeing a return of the cosmeceutical. For many years, in fact, almost a decade, it was all about green beauty, clean beauty, naturals. But now we see a return to cosmeceuticals. I do feel like the beauty and food trends are deeply interrelated. So when we see the rise of, say, vegetarianism or veganism, we see a lot more interest in sustainability and clean products and green formulas.
Right.
And now we are going back to, the latest trend in food is carnivorism. And with the rise of carnivorism, we're looking at science-backed formulas, we're looking at cosmeceuticals, we're looking at dermafacials and things like that. So definitely a much more, like a huger interest in cosmeceuticals, new ingredients like alpha-arbutin and, like the micro-ingredient. Pycnogenol used in skincare to brighten the skin. So definitely ingredient and active-led beauty is now seeing a revival again.
Wow, that's interesting. Because I wasn't paying so much attention to the carnivore. And though I know that diet makes a huge difference in beauty. What you eat and what you show up. In vegetarian, you can eat pizzas and pasta, which will tell on your skin.
Oh.
At the same time, you can eat the right legumes and the beans and the avocado and the edamame and the quinoa that gives you the protein. Because, it's very difficult to differentiate in the carnivore section what food doesn't have antibiotic and what does not have the kind of stuff that you want to stay away from in this world where health is just going on haywire,
I prefer, a more vegetarian-ish diet.
Yeah.
Like I do eat meat, I eat everything.
Yeah.
But, I like to use meat as a condiment.
Yeah.
Like they do in blue zones, where people are centenarians. They use meat as a condiment. So you just use a little bit of meat, but only to add flavor in the food. Like you won't have like this massive piece of steak. Like if you look at the 1970s, that's when the green beauty industry actually started. There was Aveda at that point. There was Body Shop. It started in 1970s. Shanaz Hussain started in 1972. And that time people were also interested in vegetarianism. And then started the Atkins protocol. And then the cosmeceuticals came in. So you see these cycles of like food and beauty are so deeply interlinked, and the beauty trends are so influenced by what we eat.
Yeah.
So now that people are going back to carnivorism, the bone broth and collagen and all those things, we are seeing more of like sort of science-based formulas.
In this beauty world, there's so much overload of information. What are the misconceptions that come on the top of your head?
The biggest misconception is that beauty has become very binary. People are just cancelling each other for like, oh, this one uses besan on her face, cancel her. This one, her filler is really bad. Oh my God, she uses Botox, cancel her. But the thing is that people have forgotten that beauty does not need to be binary. It's not black or white. Like the whole world is gray. Same thing goes for beauty. So if you want to get like a touch of Botox and use like natural face oil and use a little bit of vitamin C, I just feel like every protocol has to be decided by what looks good on you, what suits your skin. It's really not necessary for there to be camps in the beauty business because, some things suit someone, some things don't suit the other person. For instance, people with very extremely sensitive skins or eczema cannot use natural products. And some people only like do well with DIYs and, completely homemade products because actives and all these things don't suit their skin. So I feel like that's the biggest misconception. And again, like I keep talking about social media. I'm so grateful to have social media. But the thing is that that's what's propagated it. That, there's this division in the beauty industry, which I'm not very comfortable about.
So you have spoken about the clean beauty movement. What are your thoughts about it? Clean beauty, from what I mean, is not, you've talked about the veganism and all of that, but clean beauty in the way, what I mean is transparency.
Yeah.
Using non-chemical, toxic chemicals on your face because everything is chemicals.
Right.
When we were doing our research and making our product, I found that some of the companies that I swore by, and I believed them to be non-toxic, were actually had a lot of toxic substances in it. And, that whole thing of this particular brand being this absolutely great stuff for your skin. I mean, I was shocked at the reality of it. What is your take on clean beauty?
There's always new research coming up saying that, oh, this is toxic, and then they say this is not toxic. So it's really confusing to understand what's really toxic and what's not. But as far as green beauty is concerned, I love the whole green, clean beauty industry because I like the style of the product.
Right.
I love using products like, you guys have that wonderful saffron face oil or that almond cream, which we were just talking about, which is just absolutely divine. I like the formulas. I like the textures. I like the fragrances. I like the whole story behind it. And, I love the green beauty industry for the offerings, which are much more interesting than, sort of a cosmeceutical bottle with like, a plain label on it. I like the whole romance and the drama of the green beauty industry. As far as toxins are concerned, there's toxins everywhere.
Yeah.
Like our phones, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. There are so many xenoestrogens in, your cleaning products. Did you know if you, like, on your phone, that produces xenoestrogens, that causes hormone imbalance? The science people say that, there is no toxins at all in this. There's no toxins. There's there's nothing wrong with phthalates. But I beg to differ because, I've had so many friends who've had breast cancer. And the first thing that doctors tell them to do is to stop using, like, the commercial products,
Right.
And they ask them to use cleaner formulas. And there has to be a reason behind why they are saying this. And that's the thing with research and like science that, they'll tell you that, oh, this is the best ingredient possible. And in 10 years, they'll tell you that this is the worst ingredient possible.
Like aspirin.
Yeah, exactly. Like aspirin or even like sugar. You remember? Fat has to be the enemy.
Yeah.
And everything was fat-free and it was high in sugar.
Yeah.
And now people can't get enough of fat. They have fat-based protocols. Like subah ghee khao or uske baad bone broth piyo aur ye karo. So I really don't know who to trust, who not to trust. I just go by my instinct, look and feel. But yeah, I do like to reduce, as many toxins as possible. I don't know how though. That's really something that I struggle with because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know whether I had grade 4 endometriosis and that is caused by estrogen dominance. So, when I was really going through that phase of, surgery after surgery after surgery, that's when I actually got into the whole green beauty industry because I was like, I just want to reduce these xenoestrogens. I don't want this estrogen dominance. So that's when I got interested in it.
You should write about that, Vasudha. I know it's maybe a little obvious,
Yeah.
but it's very important for women to know because I don't even think women know what it is.
I think I have written a lot about it. One thing the green beauty industry does get wrong is like a lot of fear mongering. And there's no bigger toxin than fear, right?
Yeah.
If you're always like afraid of, oh, this is going to harm me, this is going to harm me. Like my father says that when you're afraid, you die 1,000 deaths. And when you're not, you just die one time.
Yeah.
I think what the green beauty industry really needs to change is their way of communication and talk more about, I think like green and clean is now hygiene in products. It's not even like a selling point.
Yeah.
It's just hygiene.
Yeah.
And it really should be more about like, look, this formula is as good as this vitamin C serum that you will get because it has such a high dose of saffron in it.
Yeah.
So I feel like in terms of communication, I think the communication needs to be more about the formulas and what it can do for the skin. Women are more interested in what this will do for me instead of like, oh, whether this has toxins or not, because there's so many conflicting researches around at this point.
And one more question that I have related to this, when you talk about skin and what women think and all of that, how closely is confidence related to skin?
Oh my God, everything. Oh my God, I've been through phases of really, really severe acne. I used to have such severe acne that I had to take Accutane, isotretinoin. And that was the only thing that fixed my skin. And I remember when I used to have those big fat zits on my face, and I couldn't even make
Unbelievable. Unbelievable in the way your skin is looking now. It's unbelievable.
Well, when you have that,
And going back to probably 30 years before, when you had acne, they used to use acetone on their face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember Dr. Dinya was telling us a story.
Acetone, and there was also the detergent. Oh, good Lord. Can you imagine that?
Well,
And leading dermatologists were telling you.
I can because I have considered putting something really strong and acidic to just dry the pimple. And you're talking about confidence and your skin. It is so, when your face is filled with acne, it is so difficult to even make eye contact with somebody else. You're like literally in a shell because you just don't want someone to notice you. Having a good skin day and a good hair day is so wonderful, and it really is a confidence booster.
It is, yeah. I don't know if you did. I had written on midday makeovers once. We did this column on makeovers, right? And I did it for a few years. And, we take a sort of a person from just a random walk of life, like, like maybe a receptionist or, somebody like, let's say, non-glamorous, just pick a person up, right, from their applications. And how a superficial makeover, Vasudha, which means change of the way you do your makeup, change your hair, change the color of your hair, change your cut, change your style of dressing, because, that suits your body type, and then do a before and after shot, right, to change people's lives. People who didn't want to even put a comb through their hair. Suddenly wanted to become models, right? People who, I remember a son coming to the studio and saying that I can't take my mom home in a train now. I have to hire a car. So it's like, you can imagine having great skin all the time. You don't feel the need to put that makeup. Oh, I need that more makeup. Oh, I need this. And your skin is doing it for you.
The power of beauty.
Yes. When you see the product saying that we can rejuvenate you or we can firm you up, how much do you think there's truth in what they will do to your skin?
Wow, that's a difficult question.
Because, a lot of husbands will tell their wives, there'll be no difference these products are going to make.
Well, mostly there's no difference.
Do you think that?
Yeah, for most 90% of the products, there is no difference. And some of these products actually they can really make your skin worse. I remember 2 incidents happened. There was one, like when I was beauty director of Harper's Bazaar, and this luxurious brand sent me these, bunch of products. The face oil was, I think at that point, 25 grand. And I was like, wow. And I just like slapped it on my face. Next thing you know, my skin is flaking off, but it's not flaking off. So I had these layers of flakes on my face, and it was just, I had to use steroid cream to kind of get rid of it. The second time I used a product from the same brand, which is extremely luxurious and very expensive, a hyaluronic acid product. This was, I think, weeks before the launch of my first book, Glow. And I got the pimple the size of Mount Everest in the center of my forehead. I was looking like a unicorn.
Oh my God.
I actually went to a dermatologist and told her, I said, just put like a, what's it called? Cortisol shot, right?
Yeah.
She had to put it because I was like, I'm supposed to be the author of this book called Glow, and I'm walking into a room with a pimple that will walk in past. So it's very difficult. Like now I have a finely honed eye of like, I can look at a product and I know whether this will work or not.
Do you think that the influencers are grabbing this limelight, taking that much space and talking about beauty is one of the biggest things they are selling?
Yeah.
Influencers. Yeah. So you think that sometimes fluff is taking over substance?
I would say money is taking over substance because beauty has deep pockets, right?
Yeah.
I mean, beauty pays fashion's bills. We all know that.
Of course.
A fragrance by a fashion brand, I mean, that's where they're making most of their money from. So, the whole blogging, influencing, it started off as, though that was the real voice as compared to magazines. I think now a lot of it is just paid partnerships. I mean, personally, I think it's great. People should make money.
Yeah.
And the more money there is in the market, the better everyone. It is good for everyone. But I just feel like I want the influencers to be There are influencers who are genuinely interested in beauty and their content is completely different. They will have so many tips and so many other things than just the paid partnerships. But those are few and far in between. So I think more than fluff, I think it's a very attractive industry to be a part of because, it is booming. It's bright.
How much impact do you think it's created in our society, the influencers?
I think the one good thing that the influencers have done and social media has done for beauty is that it's really made the world smaller. So the Indian market, I remember when international brands would come to Indian market, they would say that, there's a lot of education that is required, even for the most basic things. I don't think that's the case anymore because I find like at least my followers, they really educate me on, have you tried this? Have you tried that product? Have you tried this ingredient? And, if you mix it with this, it'll turn out like that. So I do feel like that education part has really improved.
Beauty over a period of time has evolved massively.
Yeah.
I mean, not only in terms of, awareness of beauty.
Yeah.
But also with the belief that I can look better.
Yeah.
In fact, our brand was made on the basis of the fact that you can transform yourself at any point in your life.
Yeah.
We started with the ethos of transformation, of metamorphosis. But do you think that the major impact of transformation or metamorphosis or beauty evolvement has been during COVID?
Oh, certainly. And I think what the wonderful thing that has happened during COVID is that beauty, health, and wellness has come under the same umbrella. People realize that they are what they eat and they are interested in supplements. And, I was talking to a nutritionist and she was like, earlier people would come and they would tell me that, I want to lose so many kilos. And now they come to me and they're like, I want to enhance my immunity. And all those things make a difference in your skin. Whatever you are from the inside, it'll show on the outside. Not just in terms of your health, but also in terms of like the kind of person you are. So can I just say something?
Yeah.
In this business, the thing that I get to hear the most is I'm not a beauty person. And then that'll always come with a but. Can you tell me what to do about my skin? But can you tell me what to do about my face? And I always tell people that everyone is a beauty person. If you comb your hair in the morning, if you put on sunscreen, if you put on lip balm, if you put on moisturizer, everyone is a beauty person. And I just feel like everybody thinks that, they come across as too vain and, I want to look like that I'm not interested in my skin. But everyone wants to look good. It's just, they just don't know how.
So everyone includes men?
Yes, 100%. Oh my goodness. I have so many male followers and they talk to me about like, which is the best place to get under eye filler. And they talk to me about which ingredient is better, is retinol better or are acids better. So they are a very evolved audience. And I'm not talking about my lovely gay followers. I'm talking about straight men.
Yeah.
They're just very much into their routines and 3-step and 4-step. In fact, I've met so many couples where the wife tells me that his beauty routine is really great and he's taught me everything about actives. So it's a huge market. I'm telling you, there's this one guy I interviewed for for my article in Mint, and he's from Raipur or Ranchi. He spends 1 lakh every month on beauty products. Kerastars, treatments, ye, wo.
You share the name. So what's your view on the trend of cosmetic surgery amongst people, amongst Bollywood celebrities? Do you think that it's justified, that there's so much of it in Bollywood that is impacting people out there?
I feel like cosmetic surgery is really a personal decision. And if you are going to be a movie star, I mean, we've seen cosmetic surgery, make or break people's careers, right? I mean, when people get a makeover, it could just be like the slightest brow lift. It just makes them look more like a movie star, isn't it? And yes, it does influence people. People just have to start making their own decisions and take responsibility for their own decisions.
Right.
Instead of saying that, oh, I got influenced because, so-and-so got this lip filler and after seeing her, I got it done. You have to take responsibility for your own decisions. You want to get filler, you want to get Botox, you have to do the research about this is the dermatologist I want to go to because, she does like the subtle work, her own face I like. So this whole thing about this one has influenced this one, I really don't believe in all of that. I really feel like we need to start a conversation around people taking responsibility, because movie stars will do what movie stars do, but we are not movie stars, right?
I agree with that to a certain point, but because they're iconic, you can't help but look at the way they are.
Yeah.
And of course, that whole wanting to be like, Angelina Jolie's lips and, all of that, it's a kind of a natural human nature thing.
I think a lot of that also has to do with the dermatologists who are talking about, there's so much conversation. Dermatologists, fashion magazines, they're equally responsible, right? Because they're talking about get preventative, Botox or get filler, when you're 19 or 20.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the conversations have been going around in magazines and papers and, dermatologists. And now there is new research to show that, filler has a tendency to migrate. Sometimes, there can also be a bad Botox job. So,
bad Botox job is quite
common, isn't it? But nobody really talks about it. Let's not promote these things saying that they're 100% safe, because that's a lie.
Yeah, that's a lie.
If you sort of tell people that, look, you have to be careful, then they will work harder and they won't go to some sort of a spa and get their filler and Botox from there. I know someone, I was again doing a story for a column for Mint. She went to one of these local spas. I will not tell you the name, but it's a very popular chain of local spas. And she got a thread lift from there for her jaw. And she's so young, she didn't need a thread lift. Just ruined the shape of her face. One of those pointy alien type chin she's got.
Coming to this younger, you touched upon this, the younger people doing fillers and Botox.
Yeah.
I've heard, again, from dermatologists that if the younger people start doing Botox, at the age of, say, 26, 25, 26, then the chances of them getting wrinkles later is less. You've heard about this?
Oh God, please,
Have you heard about it?
Yes, and I find it exasperating.
Yeah.
That people say all what's wrong with a wrinkle or two?
Yeah.
Really, what's wrong? It just adds character to your face. It makes you look, I feel it makes you look hotter, whether it's a man or a woman, right? And also, if you are just going to keep your muscles frozen, say you start getting your Botox done in your 20s. For 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, for 50 years, if you were to keep your muscles frozen, nothing is going to happen. It's common sense.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're probably going to need more and more and more of this,
them
of this toxin. It is a toxin.
It's a toxin,
in your face, just to, not get a wrinkle. There's so many other ways not to get wrinkles.
Yeah.
How about, I think in your 20s, you have such a bad palate, right? All of us love chips and chocolates. I to eat all kachara when I was in 20s.
Yeah.
So, work on sort of improving your eating habits, use nice skincare. I think nice skincare, it's so underestimated. Consistency is so underestimated.
Yeah, it is.
Consistently taking care of your skin daily, washing your face before you go to bed, not touching your face. Let's tell that thing to teenagers, because that's something that ruined my skin. You know, when they go into like the squeezing on the pimples and don't touch your face.
Yeah.
Small things like that. I mean, that would help younger people a lot more than like preventative botox.
What is your idea about aging gracefully?
I think for me, strength is very important because I have been through that phase where I've been physically debilitated, surgery after surgery, feeling like, and that was the only time when I was really afraid of growing old alone. You know, because I was like, who's going to take care of me? I don't have kids. Who's going to take care? You know, so for me, I really want to be physically healthy, strong. I want to be able to do all the things that I enjoy doing. I want to be able to do my gardening. I want to be able to do my yoga. I want to be able to, you know, sort of lift things, bend forward without, you know, sort of dislocating my hip. And I also want to be mentally, like I would just want my brain to function properly. I think what disturbs me about like facial aging is, you know, when I see a little bit of sagging, because that's like the toughest to fix. You can get rid of like texture and like wrinkles. And so I would be lying if I said that, wow, I just feel wonderful that I'm growing older. I do feel wonderful. But at the same time, I can also feel insecure. That's perfectly normal and human nature.
Yeah.
But for me, the goal is really to have my mind to be clear and to be, you know, to understand what is happening, because you see a lot of older people with dementia. So I really want to prevent things like that. You know, physically, I want to be very, very fit. So those are my goals when I'm growing older: physical fitness, mental sharpness. I just want to preserve these things.
Do you think there is strength in aging gracefully?
You know, so my mother, she thought she would always color her hair. And my mom, you know, she still has beautiful hair, like long and thick and whatever.
So we know where you get your hair from anyway.
Thank you. So Mama has great hair. And she suddenly developed like an allergy to like mainstream hair color, to the extent that the doctor told her that you'll go blind if you keep using all these commercial hair colors. Then she tried to use henna, she tried to use this, that, whatever. During the pandemic is when she could not go and get her indigo and henna put.
Right.
And once she even got it put, and then she also, I mean, there's lots of physical things that happened.
Yeah.
You know, and then eventually she stopped coloring her hair, and she thinks it's the best decision that she's ever made. First of all, the pigmentation on her skin has gone. You know, we don't even realize that how, like, you know, you get like sort of pigmentation around the periphery of your face and on the sides of the cheeks. Perhaps it has to do something with hair color.
Right.
Secondly, the quality of her hair is also improved. Thirdly, you know, when she would come back home, because, you know, henna and indigo take a long time, right? So she would just wash her hair at home. To just sort of like, you know, it was such a chore.
Sure.
It was just such a chore.
Yeah.
So definitely.
And as you get older, the frequency of the coloring is also increases.
Yeah, I'm telling you, beauty is the worst addiction.
So talking about beauty addictions, what is your, because as you walked in, the first thing I said was, Vasudha, your skin is looking amazing.
Thank you.
So what is your personal beauty ritual or regime?
So I swear by face yoga and face massage. You know, I got that thing, Ulthera done. Was it in 2020? And it did not suit me. And suddenly my face became very gone.
Same thing happened to me.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Same thing happened to me.
like, this is supposed to like
Yeah.
improve the...
Because it actually is meant to tighten your skin. It tightens and it's so painful.
It's very painful.
Oh my God.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Never again. So I just felt like, you know, with my face yoga and face massage, it was, but you know, you have to do it properly because it can worsen your skin if you don't know how to do it properly. So I swear by my face yoga and face massage, which I do every morning. It takes half an hour. And I know Dr. Dinyar hates retinol, but my skin loves prescription strength retinoid, which I use at night. And I've been using it for a while now. So these are the two things that I swear by. But again, I mean, it doesn't suit everyone. I know people who break out and like flake off like crazy with tretinoin. And also like massage doesn't suit everyone. So these are the two pillars of my skincare that I really swear by.
I would have imagined you to say something else like my regime, my cleansing, my this, my that.
But actually, now that you mention, and I think that is one of your questions, and I was saving this answer for that. But
I'm glad I reminded you.
you know, so, but I will also say that a cleanser is so important.
Right.
In fact, like I can always tell people who use this particular herbal face wash, I'm not going to say the name, which one, and they have this kind of red rashy skin. And I ask them that, are you using so-and-so face wash? And I'm like, yeah. How do you know? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, how do you
Wow.
know? And it's because your skin is like that.
Wow.
So I just feel like a gentle, a gentle face cleanser. Whatever. It can even be from the pharmacy or a cleansing oil or a cleansing balm. It makes so much of difference in your skin. I'm obsessed with cleansers. I have some, maybe like right now I have 5 cleansers on rotation.
So that was great. I'm going to ask you a rapid fire round.
Okay.
So what's your go-to beauty product when you're in a rush?
Red lipstick, blue toned red lipstick because it makes the teeth whiter and the skin brighter.
Wow. If you could use only one skincare ingredient for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One skincare ingredient, retinol.
What's the weirdest beauty trend you ever tried?
I think that trend where you sort of put your feet in that fish tank and those fish come and they start like, the fish pedicure, what is it called? Those were really weird.
What's your guilty pleasure skincare indulgence?
Okay, so I have this mask. I'm not going to take the name. It is so damn expensive. When I put that face mask on, it looks like I've photoshopped my skin. But it's so expensive. I'm like, okay, is this... Actually, I should have wanted to take and come because it just makes like your face gets rid of any sort of redness. So I just feel very guilty every time I buy it and use it because I'm like, it's just... Nothing should be that expensive.
What beauty advice would you give to your younger self?
Don't touch your face, don't pick on your blackheads, and don't party so much. It's bad for your skin.
And even when you're older, you're partying or not.
We're not like the kind of parties I was doing when I was younger.
What's the one beauty rule that you like to break?
Do not wearing sunscreen indoors.
What's the best beauty hack you've ever learned?
When you apply liner, you should not look up. You should not look up and apply eyeliner. You should always hold a mirror down like this and then line your lids because you can see the entire lid and it's much easier.
If you could use only one beauty product for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I would use face oil because I can always use like a cloth with it to exfoliate. I can use it to massage my face. I can use face oil on damp skin and demoisturize my skin. There's so many ways to use a good face.
And you can massage it. Yeah, exactly. Which Bollywood actress has been the most iconic beauty?
Rekha, of course. I mean, she's a goddess. The clothes, the hair, the way she carries herself, my goodness.
And what tip would you give to a Bollywood actress?
I would just say that, don't wear wigs. Sometimes they wear wigs for these roles in which they have to have short hair. I mean, either they need to get like a much better wig maker or just get the haircut, and get extensions later if you have to.
And who in Bollywood do you think has really good flawless skin?
I met Deepika and I was just looking at her and I'm like, wow, you look exactly how you look in the big screen. She's got amazing skin.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Which Bollywood actress's skincare routine would you love to know more about?
I think Dimple Kapadia's. She looks great and I just want to know what she's done over the years to look like how she looks right now.
Yeah, because she naturally looks good.
Yeah, I mean that neck is so beautiful. I always notice people's necks and she's got like the most beautiful neck.
So Vasudha, we know you as an author and a columnist, a writer that inspires people about beauty and even gives insights into the different beauty that goes around, and beauty, like you write it as a science. So tell us a little bit about your role and your journey in your journey of being an author and being so closely associated with so much editorial work.
So I started my journey being a beauty writer in Cosmopolitan in 2002. At that time, I was like, very lipstick, serum, face thing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then the whole endometriosis thing happened. And that's when I got interested in wellness. In fact, there was one point where 3 or 4 years I didn't do anything because, my health was so bad and I was getting like IVF after IVF. And then one thing led to the other and I got my role at Harper's Bazaar. And I just thought that, okay, now I'm back in what I love and I'm going to milk it.
Yeah.
And milk it I did.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for that Mala Sekri sort of remembered me and she valued me and she gave me that role. And, there was no looking back after that, there was that role. And then I did my blog and my Instagram and Penguin. It's just been like, one thing after the other. And I'm really, really so grateful to the universe for giving me a second chance.
Great. Fantastic. I know that it's something that's like inspired all of us, and all ages are looking at your advice, or your thoughts, or your insight into different things. And it's surprising even for me to see that, the 20-year-olds are interested in what Vasudha and I are.
That's my maximum. Like my audience, 19 to 24. I'm like, what are these kids doing on my page? But again, God's grace, that's so grateful.
But you can also see the trend of how beauty has shifted to the younger generation.
Yes, exactly. I wouldn't even wash my face when I was 19 years old, to be honest. I just wanted to go out and play.
You in the daytime with a red lipstick and hardly any makeup. And you look, I don't know how old, you look like somebody in your young 20s, honestly.
No, well, I'm going to be 40 for the next decade. Let's just put it like that.
You know what I mean?
Thank you. Thank you so much. You're too kind.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.